This video explains how to calculate standard deviations by groups in a pandas data frame using the Python programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the Python code. In this video I will show you an example, and for this example we first need to import the pandas library, as you can see in the first line of code. And then we also need to create an example data frame using the DataFrame constructor. So after running these lines of code, a new data set called data is created, and we can print this data frame below the code box using the print function. And then you can see that our data frame contains 12 rows and the 5 columns x1, x2, x3. Those 3 columns contain numeric values, and the 2 columns group 1 and group 2, whereby the group 1 column will be used as main group and the group 2 column will be used as subgroup indicator. Now let's assume that we want to calculate the standard deviation by the main groups in the column group 1. Then we can apply the code that you can see in the next code box. So in this line of code, I'm specifying the name of our data frame, which is called data. Then I'm using the groupby function, and within this function I'm specifying the column name of the column that I want to use to group our data. So in this case the main group indicator is called group1. And then I'm using the std function to calculate the standard deviations for each of those groups. So after running this line of code, you can see below the code box that we have returned an output which shows grouped standard deviations for the groups A and B for our 3 numeric columns x1, x2 and x3. So for instance, the standard deviation of the group A in the column x1 is 2.738. It's also possible to calculate the standard deviation based on multiple grouping columns, as you can see in the 4th code box. So once again, in this line of code, I'm specifying the name of our data frame and I'm using the groupby function. However, this time I'm specifying a list of grouping columns within the groupby function. So in this case, our grouping columns are called group 1 and group 2. And then, as in the previous example, I'm using the std function to calculate the standard deviation for each group. So after running this line of code, you can see another output below the code box, and this output shows the standard deviation for each subgroup. So for instance, the standard deviation of the main group uppercase A and the subgroup lowercase a in the column x1 is equal to 2.121. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel, and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.